River Road, you got me running way back home. River Road, you got me running all night long. You got me singing some canal boat song. River Road, you got me running all night long.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the show. We have returned. I am Dan, here along with Eric. Eric, say hello.
What's up, Niners?
And welcome to Niner Nuts. That I did not say. No James this week, taking a little sabbatical. And we're actually lucky there's a show at all because luckily during our bye week, not only did I get married, but I dealt with a very, very bad sinus infection and pink eye. So back to not quite 100%, but you don't need to be 100% to do the show. So, but yes, I'm back. I have my voice. I have no more gunk in my eye, and I got a shiny new ring. So,
oh yeah, you do have the ring. Looks good, Dan.
Yeah, I still have the silicone Niners one up in my bathroom. I'm not gonna get rid of that, but yeah, I like this for now. For now.
You better cut that part out of the
podcast. Of course, I'm coughing now. Jesus. Anyway, ceremony was great, as was the draft that just happened this Thursday through Saturday. We started out with 10 picks. We sacrificed 2 of them and now have 8 players added to the roster, which I can pull up here now. Here we go. And I'm going to blow my own screen up a little bit. Hopefully you can actually read that. I tried to zoom in on it. But
yeah, I'm good.
These, ladies and gentlemen, are our 8 newest members to join the roster. We're not going to go over the UDFAs because most of them don't stay on the roster anyway. But we only have so much time to talk about these 7 players. Or 8. I can't count. The 7 at the bottom threw me off. But yeah. So going through it all, we did not move up, nor did we trade Brandon Ayuk or Deebo Samuel, and we still used our 31st pick on Ricky Parasol from Florida, who I didn't know until the draft had his little OBJ moment with a one-handed catch.
Yeah.
Oh, who was that against? Do you remember?
I don't remember offhand now, huh?
I don't either. I just know he took 2 hits simultaneously with catching the ball one-handed, and that's the clip of him that went viral if I paid attention to college any at all this year. But yeah, Ricky Parasol, we picked him 31st. Then in the second round, we went with Renardo Green out of Florida State, a cornerback. Then on our third round pick, we took Dominic Pooney from Kansas, an offensive tackle, an exclusively left tackle at Kansas. Then 3 players we got in the 4th round. We got Malik Mustafa from Wake Forest, a safety. Isaac Garindo, I definitely didn't pronounce that right, running back out of Louisville. We sacrificed our 2 5th-round picks to get him. And then our last pick in the 4th round, we got Jacob Cowing, from Arizona, a second wide receiver. And then in the 6th round, we got Jarrett Kingston, guard from USC, who also spent a lot of time at center, which kind of confused people. I was texting like, wait, he was a center. Why does it say guard?
Yeah.
But then 7th round, our last pick, Tatum Bethune from Florida State, a linebacker. And that rounded out our 8 players. I don't know if you want to go through each one at a time, or what do you think just looking at this class? Like, and as we were following the draft all 3 days, I guess the elephant in the room is, were you a little shocked that we picked Ricky like I was?
Yeah. So yes, but no. So I mean, I think the first 3 picks were all positions that I thought we should pick. I would have probably picked them in a slightly different order if it was me. But those were all the 3 positions, and we covered those extensively on our pre-draft podcast with Jackson. Those were the 3 positions that we kind of thought that the 49ers needed to hit on. So was I surprised that they picked him? I guess just from the perspective that I personally wouldn't have taken a receiver with the first pick of with our first round pick.
Yeah, that was my
But
big hang up too, was that cool, yeah, a wide receiver's fine, but we wanted a like I saw John say that there just wasn't any attractive tackles that were at pick 31 that are worth what a first round pick is. So I mean, I get the rationale. Like
yeah,
it's sound rationale, and it's not a bad thing to have another first round wide receiver.
no, and I mean if if look, I mean, we're clearly not the draft experts, right? I mean, we bring Jackson on to be our draft expert. And I mean, then we contribute a bunch of head nodding and like, oh, yeah, that sounds great, man. We contribute that to the whole conversation, right? And we don't have a big draft board and we don't have all this knowledge and stuff like that. So if those guys, if John and Kyle and whoever else is in the room really didn't feel that there was an offensive guard or an offensive tackle with a first round grade at that point in time for them to pick, then by all means, take the receiver that you felt had the most talent at that point in time, because to me, and I'll cover this, I'll transition to this into the rest of the conversation. To me, this draft is more about the future than it is about right now. I see
100% agree.
Yeah.
We were not a team looking to strike while the iron's hot, so to say, to like add immediate help. That I don't
Nope.
see that in any of these picks.
Yeah, I mean, to me, this draft is all about 2025, 2026, everything going forward. So if they really felt that there was a guy there in the first round in Ricky, and they felt that he was going to be somebody that is going to contribute to this ball club in perhaps 2024 as a third or a fourth receiver, but definitely somebody that can grow to be that second or third receiver next year, because we know Juwan Jennings is not going to be here next season, and we know that probably Debo is either not going to be here. He's not going to be here. Debo's not going to be here next season. So I mean,
it's going to be a release or trade. I fully subscribe to that. Debo's going to be gone in 25.
We're not paying him $26 million next year.
No.
So we need a guy who's going to be ready to play next year. So if you want to draft a guy with your first pick that's a talented receiver to come in, learn the system this year, maybe get some playing time at that slot position if Jennings is hurt, or if we just need to, or if he just outplays Jennings, maybe he just outplays Jennings, or maybe comes in as the fourth receiver on occasion, or comes in and plays at the third receiver spot when Debo gets hurt for his 2 or 3 games a season that he always gets hurt or whatever, and Jennings moves over to Debo's spot. However it works out, a year in the system so that he can learn and be ready to go next year when we do need him to play and we do need him to be a starter and we do need him to contribute. I'm perfectly fine with that. And that's how I feel about virtually all these guys that got picked from the draft. I feel like they all have a chance to come in, learn the system, learn the team, learn the culture, learn about where they fit within the group. And if they start this year, great. Man, what a fantastic find. What a great pick. That's awesome. If they don't start this year, but they're really ready to go and they're really ready to contribute next year, then that's what we really needed anyways out of this draft. And I think out of a lot of these guys, I think that's what we're going to get.
Yeah, I think so too. Just piggybacking off of you, I feel there is one player that I suspect could actually see some action. I'll put it this way. I think we do. I will put money on one player in particular that I think is going to have the most snaps out of all these guys. Just obviously the caveat, a couple of these guys might not make the roster. No one ever keeps their entire rookie class. We're aware of that. But I think Mustafa, I almost said Mufasa, sorry. Malik Mustafa, I think really has a legit chance to get some significant playing time because we haven't re-signed to Sean Gibson. Jair is definitely going to be penciled in. And then we don't know when Hufanga is going to come back. Hufanga might start the year on PUP. We don't know. I haven't seen any injury update on him. He shouldn't miss that much time. He's going to miss less time than Drake Greenlaw unless he has a setback. But that leads me to think that Malik has at least an opportunity to get some real snaps out there. Because honestly, I'd have to pull up the depth chart and get rid of this, but I can't remember who else is in our safety backfield. But I honestly, it just seems like he and Jair would probably, if we penciled in the starters now, it probably would be Malik.
It would be, yeah. Well, there's Odom too, would be the other starter, but he doesn't really play that much.
See, I always get Odom and the other special teamer mixed up. I get their names mixed up all the time. We let a special teamer walk to Green Bay. Odom and
I know who you're talking about, but yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean,
so no, Malik definitely would probably go over Odom because Odom's primarily a special teamer.
Yeah, as long as Malik can figure things out and play back there. I mean, you're going to have a very, very young safety core then if you're playing Malik and Jair Brown.
Yeah, we're definitely going to give up a couple bombs.
yeah. But
that's just going to come with the territory with 2 23 and 24-year-old safeties.
Yeah. No, I mean, if you want to, I see there's potential for a couple of these guys to actually get on the field and play. I mean, I think Ricky can get on the field and have an opportunity to play because, like I said, Debo is going to miss 2 or 3 games. He misses 2 or 3 games every season. So it's going to give him a chance to move up the depth chart. It's possible that he outplays Jennings, maybe, I guess, and becomes the third receiver. The Niners just don't play a lot of 4 wide. So, I mean, there's not really going to be a lot of opportunity for him to get on the field in 4 wide sets.
Well, he's got to beat Ronnie Bell, too, who's got a year up on him.
I mean, if he can catch the ball, he'll beat Ronnie Bell.
Yeah.
So
give Ronnie some credit. He caught 2 touchdowns.
Oh, okay, but he drops everything else.
Well, that's why we got Jacob, and that's why we got Jacob competing against him for the punt returns and Trent Taylor.
Yeah.
So that's going to be really interesting. Who's going to be a return guy with the new return rules coming in this year?
Yeah, agreed. But so, I mean, I think Ricky could get some play. I really think Renardo Green can possibly get on the field. I don't think that there's that much competition for him. He could easily be the fourth corner.
Cornerback 2 is going to be a great battle when we have to go in nickel formation because it's going to be Ambry Thomas, Sam Womack, and now Renardo Green. And then the guy from the Saints, I always forget his name. We picked up a guy from the Saints. That was he's just a journeyman. He hasn't played any real significant snaps that I'm aware of. No offense if anyone's a fan of that guy. But
well, there's Isaac Yidim.
Yes, Isaac Yodom.
Yeah. So, I mean...
So, all 4 of them are going to be fighting for that CB2 spot.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think he's got a real chance to come out and get some real run. I mean, Thomas has been fine as a cornerback. I mean,
he's up and down. He'll have a great game, and then he'll have, 2 bad games. He's too inconsistent.
So, I mean, I think he has a chance to outplay Thomas and get ahead of him on the depth chart, which would make him 3rd, we'll say. So, I mean, then anytime we're playing nickel, he's going to be out there with Demo and Ward. So, I mean, I think he's got a real chance to play there.
Unless they want to convert one of these guys into nickel and keep Demo on the outside. My understanding, it could be wrong. My understanding is that Demo wants to stay outside. He just happened to be very good at nickel.
Well, I mean, who knows how that's going to shake out, but
right. Exactly.
I mean, I think I would love to see our big number 3 pick there, push some guys on the right side for some playing time. I think some competition. We've talked extensively about that, and the need to push the guys on the right side of a line there for some playing time. I would love to see that. So I think he's got a chance to...
You'll think we'll convert him to right because Jackson told us that he was exclusively left. So
I definitely think he's going to play on the right side.
See, the way after Jackson talked to us about him, I thought that we got him for Trent insurance because Trent keeps getting hurt every now and then, kind of like Debo. Not a lot. Okay, I was going to say not a lot of time. He missed a lot of time last year. He missed 4 games in a row last year.
Trent missed 2.
Or was that the year before?
That was the year before Trent missed games.
Okay, well, Trent does not play 17 games now.
Trent does not. That is true. But
so I thought Pooney was going to be Trent insurance.
So my only problem with that is that Trent's got 3 years and about $100 million left on his contract. So Trent ain't going anywhere anytime soon.
Barring a catastrophic Bakhtiari level injury.
Yeah, and Trent likes his money. and Trent is going to play until he gets all of his money.
Right.
So drafting a guy that early to be backup, like to replace Trent, just like I don't see that, because when Trent plays, Trent's still very, 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 very good.
Oh yeah.
So I think it makes more sense to just transition him to play somewhere on the right side and challenge those guys over there. And I mean, if Trent does go down, okay, swing him back over, play him on the left. I'm making it sound like it's really easy to just play all over the line, right? Like you just do this, right?
A younger player can do that. Older players, I've seen older players say that, like, no, like once you hit a certain age, like you're on the right side or you're on the left side, like you don't move.
Yeah, but I feel like they're going to move him to the right side for competition on that right side. I don't think we need Trent insurance, and I think in a pinch you could just pluck that kid and put him over there and be like, look, kid, good luck on the left-hand side. That's where you played all your career in Kansas. Have at it. You know what I mean?
Right. If I pulled it over here, if I can switch that, it said, I remember vaguely seeing on, or maybe I was watching it. It's saying that Pooney, for being a 3rd round pick, showed a lot of like even higher pick. Like it's surprising that he got picked as low as he did.
Yeah. So I think you're right on the mark with Malik in terms of having an opportunity to start this season. I think he's definitely got an opportunity to start. I think the path is there for him. I think the same thing for Isaac that I do think for Ricky. I think with just the opportunity to play, the opportunity to get out there, the opportunity to make some things happen, I think Isaac has an opportunity to get on the field. We both know Elijah can't stay healthy.
Speaking of our obligatory, we have to draft a running back every year, no matter what.
Yeah.
I did step on you there. I'm glad you brought that up though, that we can't trust the health of our running backs.
Yeah. So I mean, like if I'm looking at the running back room right now, it's McCaffrey, Mitchell, Isaac Garendo. I'm not quite sure how you say his last name, and Jordan Mason. Now I really like the way that
he slotted. That's interesting. He slotted above Mason.
Yeah, he is on the ESPN depth chart anyways. Now, obviously I love McCaffrey, right? And I like the way that Mitchell runs, and he's been effective in the small doses that we've seen him play. The problem is that he's made of paper mache and he just breaks all the time. And then I
hear Kyle say that when he's healthy, he's our best number 2, I want to smack him because he doesn't stay healthy.
Yeah.
When you're as unhealthy as he is, that supersedes the talent when he's healthy. Am I wrong?
No, you're 100% right. I've said on this show a bunch of times, the best ability is availability, and Elijah Mitchell is not available most of the time. Now, I think Jordan Mason is a very interesting runner, as he kind of just gets the ball, hits the hole, and just like smashes into it. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't seem like he's very shifty. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of wiggle to him. He gets there, he makes his cut, and he's boom, and he's in there. And that's fine. He's
got a lot of promise, I think. Yes, he's very much a what do they call it? A north-south runner. I'll agree there.
Yeah, and he runs really hard.
He's damn good at it though.
Yeah, and he runs really hard. But I think that there is easily a path for Isaac to get some run there.
We gave up 2 picks to get him to move up to get him. So
we know
clearly
we trade away picks all the time for running backs that don't do shit. So I mean, it doesn't really mean anything.
I'm just saying we must have really liked him to sacrifice. I mean, yeah, they were 5th round picks, but we must have really liked him to sacrifice 2 picks to get him.
Yeah. The rest of the guys on the list, you mentioned that Jacob might get a little bit of run there as a kick returner, punt returner. I don't know. Our receiving room is pretty crowded. We've got Debo, we've got Juwan, we've got Danny Gray, we've got Trent Taylor, we've got
Danny Gray's not making the 53.
We've got Jacob. We've got Jacob now. We've got Chris Conley still. We've got Ricky. We've got Ronnie Bell. We've got Tay Martin. So I mean, we've got a lot of receivers.
Tay Martin, Tay Martin, Chris Connolly, Danny Gray, not going to make the 53. I'm just going to throw that out there. Sorry if that's cold. Those 3 aren't going to make it.
I mean, those would probably be the first 3 that you know what? I liked the way that Connolly played for us last year, though. I liked that. I would have
some clutch moments for sure.
Yeah, I would be really interested to see what he can do. And like, can we take Ronnie Bell and maybe shove him down to the practice squad and keep Conley up or something? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know what you can do with that. Or Danny Gray and shove him down to the practice squad or something.
Well,
I don't know how all that works.
Are we gonna actually? I saw Trent Taylor's contract was not guaranteed. Like, I worry now that we drafted Jacob Cowing, unless he just completely whiffs in training camp. I'm worried if he's going to play better than Trent, because they're both noted as, we know Trent's a return guy, and Jacob, at least on here, is one of those little guys that splits safeties, but he's also very noted as a return guy.
Well, if Trent's contract isn't guaranteed, then I would be very concerned about him getting cut then too. So.
Oh yeah, it was literally the veterans minimum, like 1.2 million, none of it guaranteed.
Oh, well then, yeah, he's a candidate to get cut too. I mean, he's a nice guy and everything. And I mean, I like when he's played for us before, but I mean, I would definitely, as long as Jacob shows the right kind of progress and the right kind of promise and stuff, I mean, I would keep him over keeping Trent. So,
yeah. But this is, again, assuming that they all actually do well in camp and we don't cut any of these guys.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, not likely.
Well, but history is going to, okay, like history tells us that we're never going to cut one of the receivers or the running backs that we drafted, because we've held on to absolute piles of trash at the running back and receiver position for years, Jalen Hurd, and not gotten rid of them. So, I mean, like, if you got drafted,
we got rid of Ty Davis Price.
He was still on the roster for at least a year.
That true. Yeah. Not their we will not cut them in their first year. There we go.
So these guys are on the squad for this year no matter what. I mean, like that you know, Ricky, Isaac, and Jacob have had a year under their belt as a 49er for sure. But yeah, and I mean, as far as Jarrett and Tatum go, you know, Jarrett could definitely be a guy that fills in rotation wise on the line. I mean, I have no problems with that. And then Tatum could definitely be in that linebacker rotation as well. I mean, there's a lot of promise and a lot of possibility there, because, you know, Greenlaw is going to be out for a while. We don't really know what's going to happen.
He's going to be out until at least the trade deadline. I think there'll be a really interesting battle too between him, D Winters. That was the name I was trying to think of. Him, D Winters, and I think we have one more linebacker. But yeah, it's just for the depth, because we know when Dre Greenlaw's coming back, Campbell's going to be the third, and then Warner's Warner. He's undisputed best linebacker in the league. So yeah, it's a little battle, but I mean, you don't want your depth to be bad. Like,
yeah, well, linebacker's an interesting spot though, because we have 9 linebackers currently, and we're obviously not going to carry 9 linebackers to the finish line, right? So I mean, there's going to have to be some cuts made there. I mean, you probably have to make the top. What?
How many do we have? How many do we have besides Fred, Dre, Campbell, and D?
So we have Greenlaw, Warner, Campbell, Curtis Robinson, Demetrius Flanagan-Fowles, Ezekiel Turner, D Winters, Jalen Graham, and Tatum.
I forgot we re-signed DFF.
Yeah.
But he's a special teamer. He'll never play. Or he'll get very few snaps at linebacker. He's a special teams core player.
Yeah, but again, my point is there's 9 linebackers. We're never keeping 9 linebackers.
Oh God, no. We'll keep 9 defensive linemen.
Yeah, well, yeah. But so you figure you have to make it into the top. I don't know what we kept last year, 3, 4 at most. So I mean, that's I think
it had to have been 4. 3 would have been all of them. Like, I think it was 4.
Okay, so I mean, that's a pretty big hill you've got to climb if you're Tatum to kind of get over top of, you know, a lot of these guys. I mean, you've got to figure already. Warner's got a spot locked. Greenlaw's got a spot locked, even though he's going to be on the pup to start the season. You know, whoever's on the roster is going to get cut to make room for Greenlaw.
Yeah.
Campbell's going to have a spot. So there's 3 spots already. So there's really only one extra linebacker spot for somebody to have this season. So who's it going to be? So that'll be a really interesting battle in training camp to see who's going to get that extra spot at the linebacker position. I think that's going to end up being one of the more interesting battles throughout the thing, to be honest.
I could see it being D and DFF, but then who's going to get the short straw? It could be any position that gets a short straw when Greenlaw comes back from the PUP list, or no, he has to make the 53. Then they put him on IR, and then he's out for however long.
Is that how that works?
Yeah, if you're put on IR during training camp, you automatically miss the whole year. So you have to make the 53 and then get put on the PUP list or get put on IR from there.
Okay.
If I think you can get put on the PUP list during training camp and then you're fine, but then if you're on IR, you're automatically out, because that's what happened to one of the tight ends we drafted last year. We put him on IR during training camp, and then that just IR in training camp means you're done.
Okay.
And so then you can get an injury settlement and then sign with another team, and then it just resets, but you're done with that team.
So yeah, so I mean that's going to be it's going to make it even more interesting, because they're going to have to carry him as a spot on the 53-man roster through, the final cut, and then put him on IR, and then hope to sign, somebody back to fill that spot. So how's that all going to shake out, right? So I mean, to your point,
think of Hufunga's spot too. Like,
yeah, Hufunga's going to be in the exact same situation.
Yeah, we're not gonna kill his season. He's an All-Pro. And then Greenlaw should have been an All-Pro twice. Like,
yeah. Well, I think Drake Jackson's going to be in the same spot too, actually.
Yeah, depending on his knee injury. Because we shut his season down because he needed a knee scope or something like that. I can't remember.
Yeah. But so there's 3 guys that you're going to have that we're going to have to carry on the 53-man roster across that border, and then put them all on IR, and then go back out and hope to be able to re-sign the guys that we let go. But to your point, it doesn't have to be a linebacker for linebacker or a lineman for lineman. It can be a whoever for a whatever. But that's going to be really interesting for us when we get down to that point in time as to how that's going to shake out with the roster and who they decide to possibly let go. So maybe they do let go of one of those extra receivers that we talked about up there, with the hopes that, maybe they do let a Trent Taylor go and be like, yeah, wink, wink, nod, nod, we let you go. Well, we're signing you back tomorrow. Just
right. They I just went ahead and put that down.
Yeah.
No, they do that all the time. I remember that a few times last year. Oh, right, and we're back. Sorry about that little drop there. But I was just I already took the players down. Did you have any other kind of last thoughts on the draft class, before we kind of wrap it up here?
Well, I'm actually pretty excited about the draft class as a whole, which was something that I didn't expect, to be honest. I kind of thought that I would be a little bit underwhelmed by what they did, but really, overall, I'm pretty impressed. I like the pick of Ricky. I think that he's good. I like Renardo Green. I think that I think that he's pretty good. I liked his coverage stats. I wish he got a little bit more interceptions. I like a guy with sticky hands in the secondary. So a little disappointed in his INT numbers, but I like the fact that he gets a lot of good marks in press and man-to-man coverage. I think that's great. I like Dominic Pooney. I think he's got a lot of promise. Like Malik, like Isaiah or Isaac. So after that, I mean, we kind of are getting down into the bottoms a little bit. I think Jacob, I don't know. I mean, he's kind of an interesting pick to me, in just that he's small. I don't know. I'm sort of.
What's wrong with small people? I'm literally barely taller than him.
Well, and I would not pick you for a prototype receiver.
Very true. That very, very wise decision.
Yeah, I mean, that's the old school in me. I like big prototypical receivers, right? I like my receivers to be about 6'1", 6'2", that kind of thing.
You want the 6'5" Andre Johnson and Megatrons.
Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, I love those guys. Yeah, those guys are fantastic. The Mike Evanses of the world. So yeah,
Julio Jones in his prime in the 2010s.
Yeah. So no, I mean, I like my receivers to be like a nice 6'1", 6'2". I can even go just a flat 6 foot. Is fine. Just when they start getting to be like, like the 5. I mean, what's he listed? He's listed like 5'8", right?
Yeah. 5'8", 185.
Yeah, I mean, when you start getting listed at like 5'8", like I don't know what you do with that offensively. Now I'll give him the opportunity because he's playing in Kyle's offense, and Kyle's a wizard with this kind of shit. Oh, sorry, but earmuffs.
You're good.
Kyle's a wizard with this kind of thing, so maybe he can figure it out and maybe he can make things happen. But just like a 5'8" guy, he's just so small. You can't really throw downfield to him because he's not going to be able to. The catch radius isn't there. Cornerbacks are going to be bigger than him. I mean, he's going to be outsized by a lot of corners and stuff as it is. So, I mean, now you're running a bunch of like gadget screens and stuff like that. But we already got a gadget screen guy in Debo or just Christian
pray that he can go behind the safety like he's that fast.
Yeah. And I mean, like, we're not really a throw 50-yard bombs kind of offense either. And nor do I see a way to like get him on the field for those opportunities. Or at least, I guess if we do put him on the field, it's like, okay, dude, you're running a go route. I guess if you get open, I'm going to heave it to you. Like, you're going to get 1 or 2 shots at that a game. And I don't know that really like brings anything to it. I think for those 2 plays, I guess maybe it stretches the defense. I don't know. To me, it doesn't do a whole lot because I think that now you're having to do too much offensively scheme wise to like make something fit for just that particular person's skill set, if you get what I'm saying, versus having that person's skill set fit into your offense with what you do. Maybe I'll be wrong. Could be. I'm obviously not a coaching genius like Kyle is. I just sit here on a podcast.
Maybe he could outrun someone side to side, like with a play action cross routes. Like maybe he could do that.
That's fine, but we already have Debo for that. We already have McCaffrey for that. Like, I don't need a third guy to do that.
Yeah, and he's not going to win one-on-ones like Jennings. Like
no.
Jennings and Brandon are the 2 one-on-one guys because I love Debo, but Debo does not win one-on-one. I don't know why, but if I'm going to throw one-on-one to someone, it's going to be Jennings or Brandon because Debo unless Debo's running with a full head of steam, like a contested catch, don't throw it to Debo.
Well, right. And I mean, we talk about the 49er way a lot of times and the way that we like to do things as a 49er organization, right? And so, I mean, like, we want guys that are going to like break tackles and get yards after the catch, right? So
yeah,
maybe I'm wrong, but I'm envisioning a guy that's like 5'8" and 180 or whatever it is the guy is. He's probably not breaking a lot of tackles and getting a bunch of yards after the catch. And then we like our wide receivers to block and make plays downfield.
That guy's not blocking a 6-foot safety.
Yeah. I mean, like, he's going to be blocking a linebacker. Like, he's going to do a crack block on a linebacker, or he's going to pick up like you said, he's going to pick up the safety coming in on the outside. Like, no, he's just not going to do those things. So, like,
They line him up at halfback, and he just gets blown up by Micah Parsons.
Yeah. So I mean, like, I just don't see outside. Like, for me, I mean, he might be great on kick returns, and that's fine. I mean, with the new rules that they're putting in place, if he makes a real big impact on kick returns, and we get great field position because he's a wizard at kick returns, I'm all for it because we spent a bottom 4th round pick for him. And if we're getting
tiny target to tackle an open field like that.
Yeah, and if we're getting great field position on kick, we're bringing the ball out to the 35 or the 40, or he's breaking a return to the other side of the field some of the times, then by all means, then I don't even care. He can not see the field as a receiver the entire time that he's here. I could care less. I will be happy as a clam that he's doing a great job on returns because we haven't had anybody that can return the ball for us. I mean, Ray Ray was like fine. But I don't know. I don't want to crap that Ray Ray wasn't a good return man because the way the return rules were set up, like, didn't really give him like any opportunities to do anything either. So I mean, like, I don't know how much of it was like Ray Ray and how much of it was just like the return rules. But we haven't had
opportunities with punts. That's the thing. It was far more punt return yards than kick returns because kicks just go out of the end zone.
Yeah, but even his punt returns were like, okay, like that was like decent.
Can only do so much when the punters know if the ball hangs for 4 seconds, they're going to pin the guy.
Right. Yeah. But I mean, like, if we bring this guy in and he does punt returns and he does kick returns and he's doing a bang up job at that, by all means, great pick in the late 4th round. I'm happy as a clam with that. I don't care if he never sees the ball as a wide receiver if the entire time. Couldn't possibly care less because we haven't had a good return man probably since Ted Ginn was our return man, however long ago that was. I mean, like, we haven't had anybody that can return the ball for us. So, I mean, I would be perfectly fine with that. And if that's their vision when they saw him was short little guy who can just, and no one's going to be able to catch him, perfect. I'm in love with that. So, but yeah, overall, I think it was a great draft. Like I said, I really love that they drafted for 2025. All these picks are with an eye on the future, with an eye on getting ready for next year, so that when next year rolls around, we've got guys that are ready to go, plus whatever we draft in 2025 to build back up and hopefully not fall way off, because you shared the list in our group chat. We've got a boatload of people, and we'll cover that extensively on another podcast at some point in time, but we've got a boatload of people who are going to be gone next year, and this is the start of a new foundation. And I think it was good building blocks. Remains to be seen if it's true or not, but from everything that we've seen just in the pre-draft analysis and the post-draft analysis, I think they did a good job.
Yeah, I do too. Like, it literally just dawned on me, like, I don't know why I didn't think about it before, but like, everybody was talking about Ricky doing the one-handed catch. It made me think, oh, we had a receiver that would do that routinely, and his name was Brandon Lloyd. So if we could have a second coming of Brandon Lloyd, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Then Pooney, if Pooney ends up working his way into not the left side, otherwise, if he is Trent Insurance, if he can't get on the line, cool. If he's Trent Insurance, that's perfectly fine too. Remember, he's 36 and he has not played 17 games since he was in Washington. So we need to keep that in mind. Mustafa, I'm glad we have in there because we don't know when Hufanga is going to come back, and we clearly have not made an effort to sign Gibson yet. And then Gibson's also mid-30s, so I don't know if we are clearly not trying to bring him back. So no, like you said, looking towards the future, and as head-scratchingly confusing for some people as it was, it's not a bad thing to get a first-round talent level at wide receiver. Like, we're going to have a wide receiver problem next year. We're probably going to get through it this year. We're not getting through it next year. Like, it's good to have a cheap, good level wide receiver like that.
They're not trading Ayuk or Debo now. There's no way. They're not trading either of them now. There's no way.
No. We're going to
once they made it through day 2, there wasn't any way they were trading either one of those guys.
We are going to make the money backloaded to get Brandon signed to a $30 million contract, and just this is our last ride with Debo. Yeah. And that's it. And then we don't have time to rehash all the defensive purge that we're going to have next year, which is going to happen, and it's going to be bad. We could literally lose like 7 or 8 of our defensive starters next year. It's gonna be bad. So
Yeah,
we better make the most of this year.
Yeah, I mean, we will all be shocked at. Well, maybe James won't be. I know you and I will both be shocked if Ayuk and Debo aren't on the field this year at the same time for the Niners. I will be stunned.
At this rate we got through the draft, I will be shocked.
Yeah, because there's got to be a way to make that money work. Just given the fact that they should be able to structure Ayuk's contract to work this year, even though Debo's is way high. There should be a way to structure Ayuk's contract for this year to make it work. So there shouldn't be any reason for them to both be on the field this year. I'll be stunned.
We could still do a couple restructures. Like Christian, I don't think has a restructure this year. Trent hasn't done a restructure yet. Like
Big Trent not giving up his money, man.
He did a restructure. Not a pay cut, a restructure. Like he did a restructure last year.
Did he?
Yeah, and Fred already did one this year. Kittle already did one this year. No, it's not a pay cut. It's just a deferred, like a miniaturized version of Bobby Bonita, like pushing. It's literally kicking money down the. It's make your salary like $2 million this year, and then what? His contract expires in 2028. He gets a void year in 2029 where they pay him to not be on the roster.
Oh, okay.
So we could get Trent to do a restructure, but a restructure is fine for the short term, but it gives you a dead cap cancer in the long term. You're going to be paying for someone that's not on the roster. That's the exchange.
You mean like the Saints are probably still paying for Drew Brees?
Oh my God. I don't know. I feel bad for well, not really, because their owner's a piece of trash, but I can't believe how much cap hell. It feels like they've been in cap hell literally for 7 years now. Like,
yeah, they're never getting out of cap hell. Trent is owed so much money.
Yeah. No, dude, we paid him. We paid him like
money.
I think the AAV at the time was $28 million a year.
Oh my gosh. He gets 31 this million. His cap hit is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
His cap hit is 31.5 this year, 34 next year, and 37.7 in 2026. And he already has one dead year in 2027, by the way.
See, that's the void year. That's what I'm talking about. He accepted a void year last year. He could accept a void year again if we're so inclined to ask him. But yeah, how much is that void year in 27?
Only 3.6.
Okay, well, that's not too bad. I mean, dead money for a player we're not expecting to have is bad, but
yeah, but that's all. But I mean, you are right. Trent is 36. So I mean, I don't know that if it wasn't Trent, I wouldn't think that he was going to get to 38, but there is no way my man Trent is walking away from $37 million at 38 years old. He's just not doing it.
It just depends on how much is fully guaranteed. Like,
let's see.
Not guaranteed at signing. Like, if there's a differential of like fully guaranteed, like that'll be the thing. If you're on Sports Track, what's the opt-out year? Like, it has a believable opt-out year is what I think.
Oh, potential opt-out year is this year, actually.
Oh, well,
he would count 29. He would count almost 30 million dead cap this year.
That ship sailed, dude. What's his dead cap next year?
20.
Yeah, we're literally paying for him. We have no realistic out year for him. We don't. We have no realistic out year for Trent.
Yeah, none of his money's guaranteed, though. I don't think, based on what I'm looking at here, none of his money's guaranteed.
Okay, so man, I'm not. I wish I was a cap expert and a contract expert. I'm not. I like to think I know more than the average person, but
it's also hard. It doesn't make any sense anymore. Like the NFL cap, like 20 years ago, the NFL cap made sense because it was just like you pay a guy, he gets this much, it's this and it's that, and like that was all there is. Now there's
incentives and bonuses and deferrals and signing bonus
and void years where you just sign guys to contract years that they're never ever going to play, and you're like, how does that work?
It's an obligation, the obligation to pay, but no obligation to play. Like,
which is just bizarre. You're like, oh, I signed a $6-year deal for $150 million with 2 void years on it. What does that mean? Oh, that means it's really only a 4-year contract. Oh,
Amon-Ra's contract is crazy. It said it's 4 years and 120 mil, but he's $8 million this year and then like 14 next year, and then it spikes up to like 32 and then 38 in the last year. Like the structure of his contract is insane. It looks like what we need to do with Brandon, though.
Yeah, well, it's the same thing the Eagles did with Hurts too. Remember that they signed Hurts to that giant deal, and like the first 3 or 4 years of Hurts' deal, he only makes like $10 million. I mean, like he doesn't make like anything for the first like few years of his deal, and then all of a sudden his deal like spikes up to like $50 million a season.
Yeah, his cap in 26 is going to be like 56 million.
Yeah, I'll find it for just because we're sitting here real quick. His number this year, his cap hit this year is 13 million for Jalen Hurts. That's fucking stupid.
Jesus.
And then 21 million in 2025, and then 31 million in 2026. Then he finally gets up to like 41 million in 2027,
which is going to be reasonable in 27.
Yeah. Oh. 47 million in 2028. Then his cap then his cap hit in 2029 is a robust $97.5 million.
Bro. I can't.
That's the first of his void. Now that's the first of his 4 void years, mind you.
He has 4 void years in his contract already?
Yes.
Oh my God. They're going to be paying him until 2035.
Well, they're already paying him until 2029. No, good. I'm sorry. They're paying him until 2032.
Good God. They're going to pay him to damn near 2040. Holy crap.
Yeah. So, but yes, they have 4 void years, the first of which his cap hit is $97 million.
He literally just signed this contract and he already has 4 freaking void years. That's insane.
Yeah.
That's true kicking it down the street, and that's tomorrow Howie's problem. Like good Lord.
Yeah, but yeah. So I mean, I don't feel bad that I don't understand the cap anymore, because it just doesn't make any sense. Because you see a guy like they announced. I mean, here was his contract terms: 5 years, $255 million, average salary $51 million, signing bonus $23 million, guaranteed $110 million, blah 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 blah. He doesn't ever hit $51 million until his first void year in 2029. He doesn't even hit $51 million. So I mean, like, what is that? It's not his average salary. It doesn't make any sense. His base salary is like $1.5 million, like for the next 5 years. $1.5 million is his base salary. He has a signing bonus. He has an option bonus, like all of that stuff. But it's all just nonsense.
We've turned this into, we've pulled too much Eagles into this, and we're pushing our time.
Okay, that's fine. I got completely, I fell down the cap hole. I got distracted.
I don't blame you. Trust me, I read a bunch about the cap too. But yeah, no, I'm almost at my bedtime.
Well, then read a sponsor, my man.
Yes, we need to talk about our sponsor, Royal Retros. There it is. RoyalRetros.com. That is your go-to place to get yourself an authentic throwback jersey. It's not just football. They also have basketball, baseball, football, you name it. The major sports are there. Go ahead and check out, while they still have it up there, the Candlestick Collection. It's curated with the Bay Area in mind. And if you find something that you like, use the promo code Shady Sports and get 10% off of your entire order. It helps us out. It helps out Shady Sports, our parent channel. Go find something you like on Royal Retros and use the promo code Shady Sports to get 10% off of your entire order. Again, at royalretros.com. Go get yourself a throwback jersey today. Also, James usually wraps up the show with this, but Mountain Comprehensive Care. We have partnered with them in conjunction with some shirts that we made, and we were inspired to make these shirts because we feel that there is no fair amount of owner accountability compared to player accountability. There's countless scandals that owners have been involved with. Obviously, we covered Dan Snyder exhaustingly last year. Our own, now actual owner, not CEO and acting owner, our actual principal owner now, Jed York, was involved with some shady business. The Texans minority owner was accused of horrible crimes in Kentucky. So we have partnered again with Mountain Comprehensive Care to donate proceeds of these shirts to help women in crisis and need in Kentucky and those shirts are still available here at bonfire.com. The link to them is in the episode notes. This first shirt here goes with our, there we go, our hashtag owner standards, less than player standards, hashtag owner accountability. Almost did not plug the hashtag. But yeah, these are the shirts that we're using to raise money for the Crisis Center in Kentucky. This one just has our hashtag owner standards over player standards, hashtag owner accountability. It has the most variety of shirt styles and colors, pricing starting at $22.99. And again, all the proceeds will go to Mountain Comprehensive Care. The next shirt here is our OG show cover art when you listen to us on your podcast platform of choice. This one just comes in gray, but you can get it as a hoodie, sweatshirt, a long sleeve. Pricing starting at $22.99, just like the other shirt. The next one is what we call our alternate logo. It's got the goalposts and the extra peanuts on there. It's a beautiful shirt. James has it. It's amazing, wonderful quality. Pricing starting at $22.99 again. And then our last shirt is our wonderful little mascot with his Niners hat, patiently waiting for the Hall of Fame game, I guess is the next big thing that we're waiting for. Eating a bowl of peanuts. Don't think too hard if that's cannibalism or not, because I did that for you. But yeah, that's all we got for you on this episode. The one thing I will say for the little news blurb, I just want to put it out there because John clearly listens to the show. I saw a rumor. A little bird told me that you are considering signing Jamal Adams. I have one word for that. Don't. Just please don't. Please don't sign Jamal Adams. Just from our mouths to your ears, please don't sign Jamal Adams. It didn't work in Seattle. There's no way in hell it's going to work here in the Bay. So with that, we will be back later this week. Probably we're going to figure out. I'm not even going to tee you up for how many more episodes you're going to get this week because we have to figure that out too. You'll get at least one more though. That I can pinky promise. You'll get at least one more episode this week before we take a bye week again. But yeah, that's all I got. Eric, you got anything?
Well, just because we were talking about cap and salaries and stuff, Travis Kelce did sign a new deal with the Chiefs today. 2-year extension, 30, what was it here? $34.25 million.
Oh, the numbers did come out. What's that divided by 2?
17 roughly.
Oh, okay. So barely more than Darren Waller's contract. Okay.
Yeah. So he's the highest paid tight end in the NFL now.
Technically. Okay.
Yeah.
I was waiting for the numbers to see if he got 20 million a year, like if he really leapfrogged him, or okay, it's clearly like the Price is Right, like just a little over it.
Yes. 901.
Yeah. Exactly.
So
I think
so that good. Good for him. He's making his money. Yay! Another Chiefs victory. Woo!
Yay!
Take us home, Dan.
That's all we got for you for today. We will be back at some point this week. Outro music is River Road by Justin Muth. Keep an eye out. We'll let you know when we'll be back. See you later, guys.
Later, y'all.
River Road, you got me running way back home. River Road, you got me running all night long. You got me singing some canal boat song. River Road, you got me running all night long. River Road, where have all the women gone? Have they kissed her hand and waved you bye-bye? Have they thought about crossing your double yellow lines? River Road, they love